Hello everyone, I am back once again, and today we're going to finally go over Week 6 of the PAC League for Sword and Shield. There isn't one for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, as I mentioned in my last video, specifically because the opponent dropped out, so I just have to deal with Week 6 in Sword and Shield. I guess it was kind of nice at the time because that gave me kind of a break, but anyways, so the opponent for this match is actually going to be a familiar face. It's actually going to be Route 81 and the New Jersey Brobats once again. We've played these guys a few years ago actually. It was mostly in the PGL that I believe we were actually playing each other. And I believe this guy actually had, I think he currently still has a winning record over me, although I think the last time I played him I actually did beat him. And it was with Mega Sharpedo too, by the way, which is kind of cool. Although I think nowadays things have changed because for one thing, there is no Mega Sharpedo in this game. And second of all, I don't have him in this draft. And third of all, Root is something of a grinder, obviously. He has been since Generation 7, and in Generation 8 it's no different. He still grinds a lot of leagues, and I can arguably say he's gotten a lot better. In fact, I think I've seen him even take some names of people that I've actually seen do well in draft leagues. I'm not going to mention any of them just because I think I don't actually like a lot of them anyway. But that he's beaten them, and that's something, honestly. That means he knows what he's doing and knows how to battle a lot better than probably he was in Generation 7. So I'll be honest with you, I personally, I don't hate Root, but I kind of don't like him either, honestly. I'm kind of mixed on this guy currently. I'm not gonna go over why though, but I think if you've watched my videos for all these years, I think you'll kind of get an idea why. But yeah, so obviously because of that, I obviously wasn't looking forward to battling Root again, obviously. But, I mean, what can you expect from somebody who does draft leagues on a regular basis? I mean, it is what it is, so. Anyway, so this guy's team is scary, obviously, because he has a Vaporeon, he has a Kyurem Black, he has a Sandslash, he has an Nihilego, a Urshifu, the dark fighting variant of Urshifu, in fact. And he has a Necrozma, which Necrozma is probably the scariest thing on his team if it's of the rock polishing variety with Photon Geyser, which it most likely will be. So I'm just trying to, see what I can do about that, obviously. But before anything, I have to determine a lead first, and I'm kind of hoping that I don't lead terribly like I usually do in Generation 8 matches. So here, I try to make an educated guess that he'll probably lead with either the Nihilego or the Sandslash to get rocks up, or to anticipate my Crobat to lead so that I can U-turn. And then that would also give them free hazards anyway, so. And because I was anticipating that, I decided to just lead with the Runerigus, so make that what you will. Here I'm just going to be selecting the rest of my team, and I'm going to brace myself to once again re-encounter this demon. Yeah, because Root is actually something of a bracket demon too, kind of like Esventoon, specifically because both of these guys are actually good battlers. They actually have whooped my ass on a number of occasions, so I'm just here just bracing myself for the worst. Because yeah, I don't expect to do very well, but I'm also going to try not to get 6 out or some shit, honestly, because if that happens, then obviously, I would feel a lot terrible, honestly. Especially considering I already lost the last 2 matches already. So, here we go. He's going to lead off with Vaporeon, and yeah, obviously, that's a very good start, no? Keeping up with the tradition of leading terribly, I see. Sucks to be me, But anyway, here I'm going to switch out into Volcanion. He's going to go for the Toxic, which I kind of wish I saw. That probably would have, I could have probably sent in Crobat here, but I guess I just didn't want to take a Scald or Ice Beam, potentially. So, yeah, I switched in Volcanion. And I felt like it was the safe switch in, too, honestly. On the off chance he went for a Water move, I'd take no damage, honestly. But I should have actually, considered the possibility of him going for Toxic. If that's, maybe I don't know, maybe I thought he would actually, not have it because, I was playing in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl as well, and maybe that kind of made me think that he wouldn't have Toxic here. But it does, obviously. Yeah, it's because, I really don't think these things through sometimes. It really does suck for me, honestly. So here I'm just going to send in Crobat now, finally. And I'm just going to go for the Toxic, obviously. He went for Wish earlier, so it's a good thing that this thing didn't take any damage. He is going to go for the Scald now, though, which I can only hope he doesn't burn me, because if he does, then it really, really sucks to be me, honestly. I'd be that unlucky, honestly, even though that's already been proven to be the case in Generation 8, so, you know, rip me on that front. Here, I think I just go for the U-turn. Yeah, I already said I was going to go for the U-turn. Why the hell am I forgetting shit, honestly? I was definitely going for that damn U-turn. And here, I believe I send in the Volcanion once again. I think I wanted to switch in Raikou right away, but what happened was that it has Toxic, the Vaporeon, so I don't want this thing to get Toxic as well, so I figure I just send in Volcanion just to see what else he wants to do. And I'm actually glad I made this switch, actually, because he turns out to actually go for the Flip Turn, which is, for those who don't know, it's actually a move that allows him to pivot, basically. And I'll be honest with you, I kind of forgot that they can actually get this move in this game. But you know me, I'm not very familiar with the meta in this game still, so I don't know what anything gets nowadays. So here, I'm just gonna... I was considering going for Steam Eruption, but obviously I'm in front of a Vaporeon, so I just decided to just go for the Sludge Wave here, ultimately. See what he wants to do. Even if he switches into the Nihilego, I just wanted to see if I can force him out. He decides to stay in and take the Sludge Wave. And looking at this damage, I can kind of see why. It just does nothing, honestly. And on top of that, he's going to go for the Wish. Although after seeing the Flip Turn, it's kind of good to know that he doesn't have Protect, so he is bound to lose this Vaporeon. The question is he going to let it go down right now, or is he going to switch out now? I was keeping this in mind, and I think ultimately, I think I just stick to Sludge Waving this thing, because otherwise, you know, like if he stays in, he's just going to basically make my life miserable by, like, I don't know, doing some other stuff. But yeah, not that he can do much, because it's going to go down to the next turn, the poison and whatnot, so I don't know what the hell I'm thinking, honestly. Just go for Sludge Wave, obviously. From the looks of it, he does switch out. He's going to go into what I can only assume is the Kyurem. Yeah, it's the Kyurem Black, obviously. Or not the Kyurem Black, damn it. The Kyurem. Jeez, every time I see Kyurem, I think Kyurem Black. Like, seriously. I don't even know if Kyurem Black is even allowed in this league, honestly. But I don't know. Anyways, here. This Sludge Wave did nothing. And on top of that, it got its HP back with the Wish. So that's pretty obnoxious. And I'm still poisoned, so it's making matters a lot worse. Because of that, I want to believe that the next one I send out here is the Wigglytuff. Kind of just hoping that it goes for a Draco Meter. And if it goes for any other attack, that I can take it well at the very least. Because I do believe this Wigglytuff is once again invested in Spadef as opposed to defense. Because a lot of Roots attackers are mostly special attackers. But anyways, he doesn't end up going for that actually though. He doesn't go for any attack, in fact. He just goes for the Substitute, which is incredibly annoying because now I have to break this Substitute, and he's gonna go for a Toxic behind the Substitute, which is 50 times more annoying. So this is basically another toxic ass team, I see. But it is what it is. So I'm just gonna go for the Dazzling Gleam and just break the Substitute. So at least it's not on like behind the Substitute. And I think from right here, I actually try to go for the Heal Bell, expecting him to want to switch out, because if I stay in and Dazzling Gleam more, he's gonna take more damage, obviously. So yeah, I'm going to go for the Heal Bell right here, hoping this thing switches out. And I believe he does end up switching out, actually. I just don't remember into what, because, you know, meh. From the looks of it, he ends up switching in the Nihilego. Okay, so Nihilego comes in here. Unfortunately for me, I think this is the portion of the match where I actually start to misplay a lot, because after I get this Heal Bell off, you already saw in my moveset that I actually have a Gyro Ball on this thing. It was specifically for this Nihilego. However, unfortunately, I didn't want to go for it right now, because I felt like this guy was actually going to play the offensive role here and actually go for the Sludge Wave. And I didn't want to take any damage on the Wigglytuff with the Kyurem still hanging around and whatnot. So because of that, I decided to just, you know, Baton Pass instead. Which, I mean, if he went for Sludge Wave, he was going to still attack me, no? I don't know. I guess I just wanted to give myself some momentum here, if I were to take damage. But to make matters worse, he just ends up going for the Toxic Spikes, which is terrible. I don't think it's as bad as Rocks, but Hazards is always a nuisance, honestly. So here, I'm gonna make somewhat of a misplay here and go into Runerigus, which to take these toxic spikes is probably a bad thing. But I didn't want to send in Crobat to defog, or actually the Crobat doesn't even have defog, so I can't even send in Crobat. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking once again. I try to go for the rocks myself here, because I was kind of hoping that this Nihilego wouldn't have anything for Runerigus, but it did have the Grass Knot, unfortunately, so not looking too good for me already. I do get the rocks up, but I'm still going to be losing this Runerigus, because this poison damage and the Grass Knot damage is pretty devastating, honestly. Here I'm going to try to go for the Trick Room, or actually no, not the Trick Room, the Earthquake actually, and see if I can actually either take a hit or he does something completely different that's not an attacking move. But unfortunately he does actually go for the Power Gem. However, there is something weird here actually that happens. He takes out my Runerigus, but for some reason the Nihilego does not get Beast Boost, which is odd, because doesn't it normally get Beast Boost? Isn't that how most Nihilegos sweep? Could have sworn that was the case in Generation 7. That they nerfed that ability? I don't know. But it didn't get a Beast Boost, so that kind of had me all sorts of confused. Anyways, here I'm just thinking of what I want to send in. I do think I actually end up sending in the Raikou here, so that it can set up at least a Calm Mind and then start attacking it, whether it be with Aura Sphere or Thunderbolt. I kind of wish I had extra sensory on this Raikou though, so I can at least hit the Nihilego for damage, and it would hit the Sand Slash for neutral damage as well. And if I have a Calm Mind up, it could even possibly be a 2-hit KO depending on the investments. But yeah, that's something we're about to see right now, and how that works out. Well, not really, because I don't have extra sensory, but I'm just saying that the plan with this Raikou is basically to go for Calm Mind and start attacking it with either Aura Sphere or Thunderbolt. Here I was thinking of just attacking it straight on instead, but I was thinking, you know what? Nihilego's special defense is actually pretty good. It's its physical defense that's actually pretty bad. So I decided to just go for a Calm Mind, so that way I can do a decent amount of damage with whatever I go for. However, unfortunately for me, this is the part where once again I keep misplaying. Because here, rather than going for the Thunderbolt to possibly get some, you know, like damage or whatnot, like good damage, I go for the Aura Sphere, kind of anticipating the Sand Slash to come in right away, because I went for the +1. But he ends up staying in here from the looks of it, and just takes the Aura Sphere, and is going to just keep going for Power Gem, it seems. And this Aura Sphere doesn't do anything, which Thunderbolt probably could have done at least a little bit better. It probably would not have been a 2-hit KO though, but it would have been at the very least a 3-hit KO maybe. However, the reason I don't go for Thunderbolt is just because once again I'm just fearing that Sand Slash to come in. And in fact, because I was low here, I felt like he could have been like that guy to actually just switch out and just, you know, like kind of make a flexing move by switching in the Sand Slash as I switch it up to Thunderbolt. So I kind of didn't want to fall into that, honestly, and just went for the Aura Sphere instead, just to get any damage I can, because I haven't attacked this damn Nihilego all this time, which I'll admit was probably the more obnoxious thing about this match. All the misplays I made here was probably what could actually end up costing me in the long run. But yeah, here I'm going to go into Blaziken, and instead of taking this thing out, I actually just stay in and go for the Swords Dance, because I figured Power Gem is like its most powerful move, and for some reason it's still not getting the Beast Boost, so I don't know what's up with that, honestly. But I'm not going to waste my time breaking my head over it. So I'm just going to set up the Swords Dance and see if I can maybe start punching holes in this guy's team, because right now I'm at an incredible deficit. Goes for Power Gem, does over half. I do have the Citrus Berry, honestly. It was particularly to take a hit and then get a decent amount of HP back so that I'm not completely crippled on the off chance something on his team has like Rocky Helmet or something. But here, now what I'm going to do is go for the Close Combat, because I don't think he'll switch in the Necrozma, obviously. And it's the only thing I can hit this thing with, because I only have Protect and Sword Dance. So basically, it's the dual stab attacks that I have here. No coverage, because I had Protect on the off chance I needed to actually, you know, like maybe Protect and get a speed boost or something, like on a last mon situation or something. But, you know, here I didn't have to go for any of that, so I'm just gonna be ready to go off to the races if possible. This guy's thinking. I wonder if he was thinking, why is this Beast Boost thingamabobber not proccing, but I don't know. In my case, I usually just, like, if something doesn't happen, I would be like, holy shit, why isn't it happening? But I'm not gonna waste my time breaking my head over it, especially if I'm the one that's losing here still. He's gonna sack the Vaporeon just to kind of cripple me with the poison, obviously, and so that I don't get anything. But that's fine by me, honestly. That means I also don't get -1, honestly. However, here, I believe is where he sends out the Sand Slash. And I was really, here I go for close combat as well, obviously. But I was really hoping that I could actually take out this Sand Slash. Usually these things are run like physically defensive, but I was kind of hoping that because I had like mons like Raikou and Volcanion, that he would probably try to invest it in Spin Def. But now that I think about it, that's probably redundant, honestly. So I don't know, man. I was just really just hoping that this guy wouldn't like invest terribly in Fizz Def on this thing, but he definitely did enough for it to take a +2 close combat, honestly. So that kind of sucks for me. However, interestingly enough, instead of going for the Earthquake to take me out, he just goes for the Rapid Spin, which does make sense actually, because that gets rid of the rocks, and its speed is actually boosted, so I can't send anything in that isn't Crobat, basically. Yeah, I can't send in anything that isn't Crobat, basically. It has to be Crobat, because that's like the only thing that can possibly outspeed this thing after, I believe, a +1 speed. I didn't pay attention if that was a +2 or +1 speed boost, but yeah, that's another thing that's also worth noting about the Rapid Spin move, is that in this game it actually, it does raise speed, which is actually kind of crazy. It makes Rapid Spin somewhat of a busted move, honestly, if put on the right mon. But anyway, so here I'm just going to go for Brave Bird and hoping that it doesn't outspeed me with the freaking the speed boost here. Man's thinking once again, although I'm not sure what, because honestly all he needs to do really is just let this thing go down. Unless he was trying to think how he can preserve for differential, which is a possibility, honestly. But honestly, if I were him, I just let this thing go down, and he does, thankfully. But this is the final portion of the match, and I believe after this thing goes down, I believe he sends in the Necrozma, which is basically ready to sweep. And because my Blaziken could not sweep, now this thing is going to sweep, so that really sucks. So with this Necrozma, obviously I know it's going to try to probably set up and then sweep, obviously. Whether by rock polishing, swords dancing, calm mining, it can literally do all sorts of setup and just start destroying, honestly. I was looking at my team to see what I have here left. I only have Volcanion and Wigglytuff. So I figured the best thing I could do here is just go for the Toxic to put this thing on a timer. If he goes for Calm Mind right here or anything, any form of setup, then it'll take a turn of Poison, and then it'll take another one after going for the attack. So basically cripple this thing as much as we can. Here, unfortunately, he does not go for a setup move just yet. He ends up going for the Photon Geyser. I did have the Payapa Berry for this Photon Geyser, but the problem is that I already took damage prior to this thing, so like coming in on the Necrozma, so I had to basically go down for sure. It would have been a miracle if I survived it somehow, but I don't think that's the case, honestly. Because Photon Geyser is a pretty powerful move, actually. It's like 100 in power. With Stab, it's just like 150. That's crazy, honestly. There's no way I survived that. But yeah, here I'm just going to send out my penultimate mon now. It's Volcanion, which I'm hoping can at least take one more Photon Geyser, if he doesn't just go for a Calm Mind or some shit or something. But here, goal is just to go for Steam Eruption and just, you know, I was personally hoping I could take it out, but I kind of had my doubts as well, honestly. Like, I was thinking maybe a crit would be able to take it out from here, because it's still nearly at full HP. But the more damage I get on this Necrozma, the better, because that means it'll go down to the poison eventually. Although, truth be told, it's not like this really matters that much, because at the end of the day, I definitely lose at this point, honestly, because he still has the Cure in black, which could have Earth Power. And I think he still has the Nihilego, which has Power Gem, so obviously it's going to be able to, you know, take me down with either of those mons. Although I still think it's weird that the Nihilego never got a Beast Boost. Could have sworn that thing could have swept if it actually got the Beast Boost there. I still don't know what was up with that, honestly, but whatever. Here, just waiting for this guy to just finally like take me out completely. This poison damage is not helping things though. Okay, here I'm going to try to go for another Steam Eruption, but I'm not going to get that opportunity because this thing is naturally faster. He did go for the Calm Mind too, honestly, so it's just a lost cause at this point. I'm going to send in my final one now, which is Wigglytuff. Now here, I know I lost at this point, but what I'm going to do with this Wigglytuff right here is actually go for the Heal Bell, because I know I'm going to take Toxic Spikes and I'm going to be poisoned. And what I wanted to do was actually be able to take the Photon Geyser and, you know, be as healthy as possible, so I can maybe take out a few of his mons if possible, but I don't think it's possible, honestly. I think the only thing I could take out from this guy's team is this Necrozma right now, but I have to survive this hit, so I'm just going to go for the Heal Bell so I don't take any Toxic Poison and go down before the Necrozma does. Although I think given the speed stat, I think he does go down first to poison, actually, no? Assuming I live this Photon Geyser, which I do, barely. I'm actually surprised that I actually didn't take it very well, but this kind of also tells me that this Photon Geyser might have been of the physical variety, which would make sense, obviously. But then that definitely means that now I definitely can't win. Like, I don't have a... Well, actually, I couldn't win, period, actually. But I definitely couldn't, like, take out more of his mons after this one, honestly. Because whatever he has left on his team is just going to take me out. He has Nihilego, and I think he also had the Kyurem and the Urshifu, which, by the way, is the next mon he's going to send in here. He's going to go for the Drain Punch, obviously. Although, truth be told, I'll be honest with you, I kind of was, like, anticipating maybe something like the Close Combat, because I usually see Close Combat in most Urshifus. Either that or the Poison Jab, considering, you know, Wigglytuff is a Fairy type. But yeah, he's going to go for the Drain Punch instead here, obviously. And that's definitely enough to take out Wigglytuff, because Wigglytuff, you know, pretty frail on the physical side. And it already took a lot of damage, so yeah, this was a lost cause no matter what. But yeah, I end up losing this match as well. 3-0, which is a lot worse than the last match. But what are we going to do? Anyways, that's going to be the whole match. Not very happy about that one, obviously. I did pretty badly. I was expecting to lose, but I kind of was hoping I didn't make like a lot of misplays, honestly. Like, if I was going to lose, I at least lost with, well, making decent plays here and there, obviously. Hell, I would have probably preferred losing the RNG in that scenario. Anyways, with all that said, that's going to be week 6. If you're down to watch the final week of the season, which is week 7, for both Sword and Shield and Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, stay tuned, obviously. Take it easy, and have yourselves a good one.